Well, it is without a doubt showtime in Los Angeles. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to an extraordinary episode of Dodgers Latest as we start the week here on our YouTube channel. I want to thank you for following and making us part of your day. The community is growing. Please continue to like, subscribe, tell your folks, tell everybody about us. We're here every day for you here on the Dodgers YouTube channel. And, of course, you could follow me right there on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. Yeah, well, the Dodgers made news right after their win over the Giants on Sunday. They announced that Shohei Ohtani is back. He will start tonight, Monday, Game 1 of this 4-game series against the Padres. We don't expect Shohei to pitch 7 innings. It's more like an opener kind of situation. 2 innings, maybe 3. He got up to 44 pitches in his last simulated games, and I figure that's probably what we'll see. So maybe on the conservative side, maybe we'll see 1 inning. More than likely, we'll see 2 innings, but the Dodgers basically turned up the volume on this and said, listen, there's nothing more we can do. He's pitched in BP. He's done bullpen. He's done simulated games. He's faced hitters. That's it. There is nothing left for him to do, and he's not going to go down to the minor leagues because the Dodgers need his bat in that lineup, and we'll get into that shortly. So the time has come, and the Padres will be the unveiling for Shohei Ohtani. His first start in the major league since having ligament surgery on his right elbow since August 23rd, 2023. And, of course, it will be his first start as a Dodger. Shohei, of course, opened up with the Angels, won the MVP last year in his 50-50 season campaign as an LA Dodger. But Shohei on the mound, and, of course, isn't it fitting that it's against the Padres? That's who it would have to be, right? If it wasn't going to be the Giants, Dodgers leading the Giants by 2, the Padres by 3 in the National League West. And this rivalry, this series, gets kicked up an extra notch as Shohei will take the mound tonight. Like I say, more like an extended opener, 2 innings, 3 innings max. Probably something around the 40 to 45 pitch range tonight. And then now that will turn into, what does that do for Shohei the hitter? I mean, he hit his 250th career home run over the weekend when the Dodgers were playing the Giants. The Dodgers ended up beating the Giants 2 out of 3 in that series. And, Shohei, look at those numbers. He's flirting with 300. He's already got 25 home runs, 41 runs batted in, and 11 stolen bases. How is that going to affect his bat? Listen, I understand why the Dodgers are making this move. They are in desperate need of pitching. They are in desperate need of starting pitching. I get it. But boy, if this in any way affects those numbers, then I don't know how smart of a move this is. When they signed Shohei, that's the deal, right? That's why Ohtani came to the Dodgers. That's why when he left the Angels, that was his sort of his bottom line. That was his deal breaker. I have to be a two-way player. And he was a great soldier last year with that 50-50 campaign to win the National League MVP. But ultimately, that's what he wants to do. He wants to pitch. So the Dodgers are sort of up against it. I think if the Dodgers had their way, they wouldn't let him pitch. They would just say, hey, focus on this. The stolen bases are already a little bit down, and I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying I don't expect another 50-50 campaign to begin with, let alone if he's going to start pitching games. I'm a little weary because, again, I don't know how beat up he's going to be when it comes to the postseason if he's now pitching again, because one thing he has never done is he's never pitched and hit and gotten into the postseason. That's never happened. So how much Shohei will be in shape? How much will he be exhausted as we get into the dog days and into October? Now, is it a situation where they use him exclusively as an opener? Maybe a 2 or 3 inning stuff, or maybe they bring him in as a closer, right? Little league style, high school style. 8th inning, 9th inning, you bring him in to face a couple of hitters, and then the only problem is this. If you could lose the DH if he ends up playing in the field. So the Dodgers, it'll be very interesting to see how it's arranged in terms of he's going to pitch, who's going to DH, does he go into the field and play the outfield, does he go back to can you switch DH roles? That'll be an interesting situation to see how it works. But the Shohei hitting component, as long as it doesn't affect that, because to me, that's where the Dodgers are getting really the bulk of their money. The hitting component is what's got to be preserved, and it's got to be sacred. Otherwise, this whole experiment doesn't work for me. All right, Dodgers will host the aforementioned Padres. It's a 4-game series against the rivals from the South. Remember, the Dodgers leading the West by 2 over the Giants, 3 over the Padres. Dodgers won 2 out of 3 in San Diego. The only game they lost was against the guy they're facing tonight, Dylan Cease, who pitched a gem, 7 scoreless innings. Cease has sort of gone into a tailspin. That's probably his best outing since the Dodgers rocked him in the division series last postseason. He needs to get well for San Diego to get climbed back into it. Dodgers really are TBA. Of course, it'll be Ohtani tonight. They don't know who's going to pitch Tuesday. They don't know who's going to pitch Wednesday. Yamamoto is slated to pitch on Thursday. So do we do back-to-back bullpen games? Do we do a Ben Kasparius game? My guess is one of those TBAs on Tuesday or Wednesday will be a Kasparius game. Remember, he has been slotted into the starting rotation now. And then there's Justin Robleski, who has pitched great of late, his last 3 appearances. He has been brilliant. Do you do him as a sort of a bulk guy behind Kasparius? It'll be interesting. The Dodgers, part of this whole Ohtani thing is to get themselves right, to get themselves away from using so many starting pitching. But again, all Ohtani's going to be is another opener, another bullpen game when Ohtani pitches. So what are you getting? What are you losing? Not convinced yet, but it'll be great to see this happening for the Dodgers, and it'll be great to see the Padres in town. Part of the longest homestand the Dodgers had this season. We just finished 3 with the Giants, 4 with the Padres, and then the Nationals come to town over the weekend, and we could be seeing this guy, the Hall of Famer, Clayton Kershaw, now 12 strikeouts away from 3,000. My guess is he'll probably pitch Friday night against the Nats. Kershaw pitched a gem, 7 scoreless innings last Saturday against the Giants, ended up 5 strikeouts to give him 2,888 in his career. And now we're really getting into it now. We're really getting into the Kershaw legitimately will get 3,000 strikeouts. And I think that's the last pillar for him. That's the last thing he needs. He's in the Hall of Fame. We've said this before. He could retire tomorrow, and he's in the Hall of Fame. But that last little stat, that last little nugget, will be rounding it out for him as that first ballot Hall of Famer, as Kershaw will probably pitch Friday. So if you're making plans, don't think he'll get 3,000 strikeouts that night. Don't think he'll get to 12 Friday night. Maybe 4 or 5, and then will it happen on this upcoming road trip? We shall see, but the kid has been pitching well, and again, that's something the Dodgers have been lacking. Remember, we went 7 scoreless innings against the Giants. Probably the best anybody has pitched all season for the Dodgers in terms of a starting pitcher. The Dodgers would have a terrible record in terms of starting pitching that gets them 6 innings or more in a game. Kershaw stepped up to the plate, like a veteran, showing everybody how it's done. Dodgers latest, that's how it's done here. Follow me on Instagram and on X for all the latest news. And of course, tell your friends, your family, your community, hook us up here on Dodgers latest. It's going to be a big night at Dodger Stadium. Media, fans, buzz everywhere. It is showtime in LA as Ohtani takes the mound. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Remember, right here on Dodgers latest, it's always time for Dodger baseball.